got something to tell you.
What? Into your marvelous light, you took away my blindness. Yes, she gave me sight.
Mommy's
You wiped my tears away.
But it's happy tears, isn't it?
You took all of my pain.
No,
You showed me your amazing grace, and I can only say, God, I'm grateful.
This is literally the beginning of something
for the
beautiful.
way you healed my heart, for the way you filled my heart, Lord.
Alright, so finally, guys, this is a long awaiting video, and I'm just so happy to be able to, you know, film this for you, because it's been something that it's just dragged on. But I'm just gonna get into the video. Alright, so this is, I call this my beautiful testimony because it is a beautiful testimony. There's been a lot of, you know, there's the test, there's the trial, there's the hardship, there's the tears, there's the whys, there's the questioning, there's all of that. But in everything, God made it beautiful. And that's one thing I love about it, because, and that's why I call it my beautiful testimony. So I hope this speaks to you. I hope you leave watching this video with something. I hope you leave this video with hope, even with faith, like knowing that God will come through for you, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Like, don't think that, and I'm saying this because obviously I went through it, but it wasn't easy. Like, I'm not gonna downplay it. It wasn't easy. There's times when I felt like I wanted to give up, but I kept on. And honestly, if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't have kept on. But, and because of Nevaeh as well, honestly. But here I am today, sharing you my beautiful testimony, and I hope you leave with something. So yeah, let's get into the video. From the beginning, I moved out of my mum's house when I was 16. Previously, before the hostel, I've moved a lot of times with my mum as well. Like, honestly, hostel life wasn't, I wouldn't say it, for me it was fine. It was fine for me, and I think the reason why it was fine for me is because I'm a very introverted person. So I was pretty much just always in my room, didn't really like mingle with people. I think if anything I was probably forced to mingle with people. And yeah, like, it was just me in my room cleaning and watching movies and stuff like that. And if I had like anyone come around, it would just be like one person and then they will go. And then after that I moved on to, I fell pregnant, and then I moved on to a mother and baby unit, and obviously I was pregnant, so I was pretty much just enjoying my pregnancy and just getting on kind of thing. You know, I was distracted with baby, so that was also fine. It was again just another room, and it was just me in the house, in the room, watching movies and stuff like that. I will class this now as, this is like where life started. Like, this is when, you know, yeah, this is when life started. So okay, cool. I left my mother and baby unit, and I was given a temporary accommodation. Now, with temporary accommodations, yeah, you can literally live in a temporary accommodation for up to, I'm gonna say 10, but I'm not sure. But you can live in a temporary accommodation for a very long time. I think it's supposed to be up to 5 years, but some people live in a temporary accommodation for longer than 5 years. So I was in a temporary accommodation for, I was in there for quite, I would say about 3 years. But it was, I didn't really know the process of a lot of stuff. So I was literally living there, just paying gas and electric, and it was nice. Like, there was nothing wrong with it. It was a nice little home. Nevaeh had her own room. It was just a nice little setup. And then the landlord wanted back her property. I got a letter come through my post basically saying that they evicted me. I'm thinking, eviction, like, you know, like when you see eviction notice, you think, right, I haven't paid my rent, or I've done something called antisocial behavior. I know I didn't do any of those above, so for me, I'm just like, eviction. And obviously when I looked more into it and I got more information, the person wanted back their property because they just wanted back their property. That it's their house kind of thing. So I had to bring that letter back to the council, and then they said that I have to wait until, literally until the court order goes through for me to leave the property. So I'm like, why am I going to wait until the last minute? I'm telling you now in advance, like, why would I wait until the last minute? Do you understand? Like, to get rehoused, like, it doesn't make sense. It's going to happen. But they were like, no, I'm not priority right now. I'm not homeless. I've got a roof over my head. So I have to wait until the court order goes through that they've literally, like, ended the tenancy. So I said, cool. Anyways, the day came, tenancy ended, court order went through, everything was filed through. And then I remember, I think it was like the morning I woke up and I went to the council. And then they put me into like a B&B. Now, that's where, this is what I was trying to avoid, because I've been living in this property in my temporary accommodation for what, 3-4 years. I've got so far, you know, I've got everything that, you know, you will need in your house, and then you're going to tell me to go into a B&B. It doesn't make sense. So they were like, well, that's the only thing that they have right now. I have to go into a B&B. So I literally had to put all my stuff into storage. So then gone into this B&B, disgusting, like absolutely grotty. Like, if I had a picture of it, like, it was nasty. And I was there for about a week. And then after the B&B, they put me into a hostel. But it wasn't even like a hostel. They called it a hostel, but it was literally just another bed. Like, it was like it was a shared accommodation. Now, they put me with this woman that smoked her days away. So literally, as you walk in, you're smelling cigarette. You walk in my room, you're smelling cigarette. And my child is there. And the woman was scared, like, she looked scary. So Nevaeh was terrified to go home, because she was thinking, I don't want to see the old lady. And we was there for about 2 weeks, and it wasn't nice because the cigarette smell alone, I'm asthmatic, the woman scares the hell out of Nevaeh. She's scared to even move around in the house, go toilet, because it was a shared accommodation, so I have to, you know, take Nevaeh toilet, or, you know, bath her and stuff like that. So then the 2 weeks up, thank God, I left. And I was complaining as well, and then they put me into another hostel, but they called this like a self-contained property, or self-contained unit or something like that. Looked like a prison. The shower was on the balcony, so literally as I come out the shower, I can look down, like, I can literally look over the balcony and I can see people, like, literally. God forbid, if anyone wanted to do any form of anything with me or to my child or whatever, they could get away with it, because the emergency door that was supposed to be locked was open, and there was just bare boys down there. It's late in the night. Like, there was no way of me saying, you know what, let me have a late shower. Hell no. Like, that would be very risky. But it literally looked like a prison. Like, it wasn't safe. Like, if anyone wanted to kick down my door, trust me, one kick, my door's off. So I was just like, I just felt like, what's going on? Like, why can't they just put me into, like, you know, another, like, something decent? I went back there, complain. Nope, they don't have no houses. Nope, they don't have this. Nope, they can't do nothing. Nope, I'm not priority. Nope, I'm not homeless. I've got a roof over my head. And that's literally all I was hearing. And I'm just like, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared for my life. There's people downstairs. They're smoking. The boys are downstairs at 1 o'clock in the night. Like, you know, this is my safety with my child. They didn't care. I was there for 8 months. And some of the time, like, when I was there, I couldn't, like, there was no way of me staying there, like, back to back, because like all the way through, because literally Nevaeh was like, she was actually scared, and I didn't want to build up fear in her at that young age. So anyways, so after that property and complaining, apparently you're not supposed to be in a hostel for over 8 months. Now they waited until the 8 months literally, and then I got another letter, and they put me into another hostel, because obviously I don't think they could have renewed that tenancy, but they had to move. I don't know how it works, but this is what I'm hearing. So they literally moved me from that hostel to another hostel, complete different like location as well. Now this room, it was, I think out of all of them, it was like the most, it was like a new house, like literally it was a new house. It was another shared accommodation. I think it was just me and another person that was living in there at the time, because it was quite fresh. But the room was very, very, very small, but it was livable. And I think because it was so clean and it was fresh, I was just like, yeah, and the area was beautiful as well. So I said, you know what, it is what it is, like at least it's not what I was in previously. So I stayed there for about, I would say about 2-3 months. Now this is how I left that place. I remember the day me and Nevaeh was in the house that day, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna make this room a bit, you know, be a bit more homey, like, you know, for Nevaeh, because one thing I didn't want Nevaeh to do is like, no, because she was so young, I didn't want her to like think that she didn't have a home. For me, I was like, I need to make this room as homey as possible. So I remember that day I even took out things out of bags that I didn't want to take out, and I literally put, you know, you put candles and you're just making the room look nice and cozy and everything. And I think I done that, I started doing that early in the morning. Around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I said, okay, cool, Nevaeh, let's go on the road. I remember telling her, yeah, let's go, like, we're gonna go out and everything. No word of a lie. All I heard was my door. So I've opened it, and the man literally done this and walked away. So I'm like, what? And I've opened the envelope, and the envelope said, notice of eviction. What? What do you mean? And then when I looked on the date, it ended the same day. So I needed to be out of that property within 24, well, the same day, that same day that I got the letter. So I'm like, nah, like, you can't do that. So I think automatically, Nevaeh was young, but she was very, like, she knows when something's wrong. And as young as she was, I think Nevaeh was probably about 3 or something. Nevaeh said, she was in nursery, and Nevaeh said, Mummy, are we gonna move again? And I was like, what? And then I remember hugging her, and I was just like, what do you mean? Like, what's going on? Like, we literally just made this room into something, and then we have to move out. So I was just like, Nay, we just have to go somewhere else, because this is not like good for us. And she was just like, why? Like, and all of that stuff. And I was just like, don't worry, Nevaeh, like, everything's gonna be okay, blah blah blah. And she was so young, but for me, that made me realize, and it's just like automatically a paper to her was that we're gonna move again. Do you understand? And I didn't want that at all. So that's literally when I realized that this is actually real, and Nevaeh is clearly affected. So anyways, we packed up all the stuff. If you saw my car, we packed up everything, like literally I put everything in the car, and I went straight to the housing. And what did they do? They put me in a hostel. And the hostel needed cleaning, so I went there. I was cleaning, and I was there again for about 2 weeks. And I literally was going back and forth there, and I was just like, you know what, I can't keep living like this. You know, I've got a child, like, she's not stable. You know, I want to move into something a bit more stable, especially because they were putting me in like random areas. Like, locations. So for me, I was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna be living in this borough or that borough. So for me, I was just like, when is this gonna end? Like, I don't get it. So I said to them that, yeah, I need to definitely move into something secure before she goes to school. So they obviously said they can't, that's not something that they can sort out right now. They obviously, they don't have enough houses for people, and I have to just wait and I have to bid and blah blah blah. I was in that hostel for about 2 weeks, probably about just on the 2 weeks I was in that property for. And it was just another room that me and Nevaeh were sharing with, it was just like another shared accommodation. After that, they sent me a letter to invite me to come and do like another interview for the housing. And then I went to the housing, I remember, and they said that they're gonna put me into a temporary accommodation. So now, when you're in a temporary accommodation, usually the next step is you will go into your permanent. So they will give you a bidder number, you bid for your property, or you get a direct offer. A direct offer is where they just offer you a property off random. Like, you can't decline a direct offer, you have to take the direct offer. Whereas with a bidding, if you're bidding for a property, you bid for what you want. So I always said, there's no way that I'm gonna allow them to just pick me a property, because I can't turn it down. Whereas I can just, I have the option to pick what I want. So I went to that housing and they said, yeah, they have this property for me, it's within this area, and yeah, it's like, it's not a shared accommodation, it would be like, our own place, but it's a 1-bedroom. So obviously my previous temporary accommodation was a 2-bedroom, that's what I'm entitled to, but they've put me into a 1-bedroom. So I was just like, I don't get it. Like, why would you, if I'm entitled to a 2-bedroom, why would you downsize me to a 1-bedroom? That's the only thing that they have. That's what they said. That's the only thing that we have, and I'm desperate and I need to take it. And if I don't take it, I've made myself intentionally homeless and they will take me off the register. So I had to take it. Then I said to them, what's the name of the property and whatever. When I looked at the paper and saw where they were putting me, tears came to my eyes, because that could be the worst place that they put anyone. Like, I used to live in this property years, like when I first came to this country. It was literally the worst area or the worst estate that you would ever want to live on. And for me, when I saw that, I literally was just like, please, I'm begging you, like, I've had bad experiences there. Like, it's just one of them ones where it just brings you back and it's just bad memories. And I was just like, I don't want to go there, I don't want to live there again, I don't want to bring Nevaeh in that environment, I don't want Nevaeh to be in that area. And she was just like, that was years ago, it's not like that no more, you ain't got no option unless you want to make yourself intentionally homeless. And I was just like, please, like, I will take anywhere else. I remember pleading, and they were basically not having it. And I had to take it and went to the place, and it was livable. Like, I literally was just like, you know what, it is what it is, I'm gonna take it, I have to take it. This is gonna be our home until God blesses us with something. And I remember saying to the woman, I said, please, like, I'm begging you, let this be my final stop. Like, now I moved in, and I think when I moved in, I'm looking around the house and I'm just like, I don't have the energy. I think I was scared to make it into my home, because I've had, so many different places that I've made into something, and then literally within days or weeks or whatever, it's been taken away from me. And I was just like, I don't want to be comfortable, I don't want Nevaeh to think that this is our final stop, I don't want to do nothing to this property, because we're not going to be here for long. That was literally my mindset. I'm not going to be here for over a year. that's literally what I said to myself. And a year went by, 2 years went by, 3 years went by, 4 years went by. This is our 5th year. But rewind, it was the most disgusting. I think that was like the cherry on top. Like, I think that's when it got too much. Like, I think that's when giving up was just always at the tip of my tongue. That's when I thought, what's the point? That's when I thought, is this worth it? That's when I thought, you know, like, question God. Like, there was just a lot, like, why? Like, why me? Like, why do I have to go through this? Why this? Why that? Why that? And this is the reason why.